as it would be good if there is an affidavit.
Yes, Chair, I'll be guided by you.
Yeah.
I would just like to emphasise, and perhaps to the extent that this is being broadcast today, it needs to be emphasised.
Sorry?
Perhaps because this is being broadcast today, it needs to be emphasised that Colonel Naidu is under witness protection under the Witness Protection Act.
Yes.
That you have already made an order in terms of Section 18 of that Act.
Yes,
to
yes.
protect his identity,
Yes.
so that to put it colloquially, his cover does not get blown in his new environment.
Yes, have you got the order that I made with you?
Yes,
Because
I
I
do.
could just read it again so that everybody is reminded of it. Sorry. Okay, I think what I will do once we're done is just to read it again so that everybody knows about it. But it would seem to me, therefore, that the application needs to be postponed to give you an opportunity to obtain an affidavit, probably from Colonel Naidu, to deal with that and any other point raised in the minister's affidavit that may be considered to be one that should be responded to.
Yes, Chair, thank you.
Yes. And then in terms of the way forward, the idea was that Colonel Naidu would begin to, the plan was that he would begin to give evidence, I think, on Thursday. I think that was, it was meant to be Thursday. There is no reason why we can't deal with the matter either on Wednesday afternoon or at some stage on Wednesday or Thursday morning. As far as I'm concerned, it need not disturb the day when he was going to be here. But of course, there are two witnesses, I think, who were meant to come before him. So it may or may not be that he would be able to start on Thursday. I'm not sure. I think what should happen is that I will hear what Mr. Madonsela has to say, but it seems to me that the application should be postponed. It seems to me that there should be discussions after the application has been postponed, and maybe it should be postponed to a specific date, either Wednesday or Thursday morning, maybe to be on the safe side Thursday morning. And if I decide to grant the application, that could happen, immediately before he could start giving evidence. Obviously, if I don't grant it, then we'll take it from there. So maybe it's safer to postpone it to Thursday morning. What's your feeling?
I would say yes, Chair, far better than Wednesday.
Yes.
But I do have this concern that I don't know what the logistical problems will be in getting an affidavit from Colonel Naidu, who is under witness protection in a location that we don't know, and having that before you in time. Now, I'm now advised that Thursday would be fine logistically.
Okay.
So if you could postpone it then to Thursday morning,
Thursday.
would that be at 9 o'clock?
Maybe let's make it, maybe we should make it 9:30 rather.
9:30.
Yes. I don't expect Mr. Madonsela to have a problem with the principle of a postponement. I'll hear him just now. Okay, all right, Mr. Madonsela.
Yes, Deputy Chief Justice, I certainly do not have any principal objections to the
Yes.
matter being adjourned.
Yes.
I do want to place on record, however, that it was always our intention to invoke the provisions of Rule 34 and apply for the Minister to deliver his response, as well as to apply for a limited form of cross-examination, which the dilemma which we faced in that regard was that the extent to which we can respond to the allegations that have been made by DG Naidu are somewhat related to the objections which we have in relation to him testifying in camera,
Yes.
with the result that it might place us in a dilemma not to be able to address particular matters simply because they fall within the space of classified information, which is the reason why the application for an in-camera application is made. And we don't know, we can have a response in relation to other matters, but we cannot answer all the other matters because of the sensitivities around the
I'm sorry, Mr. Madonsela, I don't know why. Maybe you should come a little closer to the mic. I'm not hearing every word you say. Yes.
Can I start by saying, Chairperson, we have a dilemma. We want to respond to the statement appearing in Rule 33.3 affidavit by DG Naidu. And we intend to bring an application to also be allowed a limited amount of cross-examination in relation to a specific matter under Rule 3.4, I think, of the rules of this commission. The reason why we cannot finalize our response to the statement as it currently stands at the moment is because of the dilemma which we have as to the extent to which we can be able to respond to the statement by DG Naidu because his identity has been hidden thus far. And we make the point in our opposition that integral to his very testimony is who he is, his identity. So those issues have been a bit of a dilemma, but we are happy with the matter being adjourned to a specific date under the reservation of the rights that we might ask on that very day to be given a limited time to file, depending on the outcome of that application, to deliver our affidavit in response, as well as our application for limited cross-examination.
Well, two matters. One, the application for leave to cross-examine, I think you might wish to deal with it once you have been able to file that application. In terms of your client finding himself in a difficult situation because some information that he might need in order to respond is classified. I thought that your client would be in a better position even to assist us because you might or might not be aware that Colonel Rolofse, who gave evidence last week here, gave evidence of the Office of the National Commissioner of Police not assisting to declassify information or documents that he says really have no proper grounds to have been classified in the first place, you know. And I was actually quite amazed at what at the evidence he gave. So one of the things that I raised with him was whether he had approached the Minister of Police to say the National Commissioner or different national commissioners have not cooperated in the hope that the prescripts allow the Minister of Police to intervene in that situation. Now, I don't know whether this is a situation where the Minister of Police has no power to intervene if the National Commissioner of Police won't assist or and so on. So, but I thought that certainly if the Minister of Police needs documents that are classified, it should not be a problem.
Actually, it is a problem.
It is a problem, even for him.
Because he, as I understand, the workings of intelligence
Yeah.
sometimes even include the minister.
Yes.
And they have a different line of reporting to, I think, Standing Committee of Parliament on Intelligence,
Yeah.
as well as the oversight of intelligence. There are different lines. It's not as straightforward.
But it would be quite strange to me, particularly with regard to documents that relate to allegations of misconduct within crime intelligence, which I understand falls within the SAPS, which would be under the Minister of Police. It might be different if one was talking about other intelligence bodies that fall under maybe another minister. So it would be strange if even the minister can be bypassed in terms of important information. But you say your understanding is that sometimes that does happen.
It does happen, yeah.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, the minister doesn't even appoint the national commissioner, as we know.
Oh, no, I don't necessarily know that. Oh, okay, so, but certainly, well, I don't know whether you, I mean, I can say this, arising from Colonel Rolofs's evidence, I'm very determined that the commission must get a decision from the National Commissioner whether he will or will not declassify the information, and if he won't, what the reasons are. From what I've been told, it's difficult to understand that there are proper grounds for any refusal or unpreparedness to declassify some of the documents. But I've only heard one side of the story. I haven't heard the National Police Commissioner's side. But when he is given a chance to say, are you prepared to declassify or not, he will get a chance. If he says, no, I'm not prepared to, then give his reasons. And then we can take it from there. But from what has been explained to me so far, on the face of it, it just does appear that documents which are important for investigations into crimes, into corruption, are not being declassified for reasons that have never even been told to Colonel Rolofse on his version, to say, we know you have been asking that we declassify these documents, we are not prepared to do so, and here are our reasons that we don't know. So that is the position as far as the Commission is concerned. It is going to want to have a decision by the National Commissioner of Police on that. Now, what I don't know is whether the Minister of Police was also seeking the assistance of the Commission in that regard, or whether you were simply saying you and he are going to look at the situation and see what avenues are available to get documents that you need in order for him to respond to these allegations that you need to be declassified?
Our first prize as legal representatives for the minister is for the matter to be adjourned to a later date than Thursday, because it is for the simple reason that the minister at the present moment is out of the country, is in China, and he will not be having time to consult with him on the matters which you have raised, such as what you have raised. We only have matters which we have consulted with him up until the last time we prepared the affidavit. Now that these matters have arisen as a result of your comments, Chairperson, we may have to consult with him further on that, in that regard. And we are unable to do so between now and Friday when he comes back from China, or Sunday. Our first prize would have been to have the matter adjourned to a later date to allow for that process to take place, and for us to be able to prepare an affidavit in the spirit or in the atmosphere of calm rather than hysteria, because if we have to do so between now and Thursday, it will be a rush job rather than a thorough job. So that is our first prize. But if we are compelled to, for reasons of expediency, to come on Thursday, we are not unfamiliar with the territory of banning the midnight oil. We'll do all in our powers to do that.
Yes. Well, I think for purposes of Thursday, I don't see you needing to file any affidavit because you have filed your response, and it's just for the legal team to obtain an affidavit from Colonel Naidu to respond, and then we can deal with the in-camera application. As far as any application you might wish to bring for leave to cross-examine, that you can bring even later. You can bring that even later, even if Colonel Naidu has to be brought back some other time, so that if leave to cross-examine is granted. So that can be dealt with later. Would that be fine?
That'd be fine.
Okay, no, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you. I don't think, Mr. Balo, you should have anything to say.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, my initial instructions, and up until we received the draft order, was to concede to prayer A and C, not prayer B.
Yes.
And it may be necessary for us to just file a short affidavit outlining why we are opposing the stance that is being adopted by the applicant now, Chair. So I will discuss with the evidence leader. It will not be a long affidavit. It will just only outline the basis why we are opposing what we see as Part B of that application, Chair.
My concern about you now wishing to file an affidavit is the possibility that your affidavit could complicate matters and somebody needing to reply, and then it delays us. You haven't filed it up to now. We already have to postpone now because the Minister of Police affidavit was late, and we are going to postpone to Thursday morning. Tomorrow is a public holiday. You might say it will be short, but we don't know. One or other party might decide, well, it is short, but it needs to be responded to, so it could cause problems. So you might wish to just reflect whether you really need to file an affidavit or it's matters that you can deal with the way you had intended to deal with them today.
Chair, I will reflect on that. I will take instructions, but I believe that it could be prudent to perhaps come and make submissions because if it's not serious issues, it's just technical issues about the application.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Chair.
No, that's fine. The application brought by Colonel Naidu for an order, in effect, granting or directing that his evidence be heard in camera is postponed to Thursday this week at 9:30 to enable the Commission's legal team to obtain an affidavit from him that will deal with certain matters that have been raised in the opposing affidavit of the Minister of Police. So this matter will be heard on Thursday, 9:30. But before we adjourn, I'm going to read, for the benefit of the public, an order that I issued last week in regard, on the 17th of September, in regard to this particular witness, Colonel Naidu. And after that, I would like to be updated on arrangements that may have been made between the legal team and other legal teams representing other persons in regard to the evidence of the witness who was supposed to give evidence today after this application, and thereafter we will adjourn. Let me now read the order that I made, just so that the media and the public and everybody is fully informed of the order that I made, which continues to be operational. That order read as follows. The heading is Order by the Chairperson of the Commission in terms of Section 18 of the Witness Protection Act 112 of 1998. And it reads, it is hereby ordered that, 1, in respect of the person referred to as Colonel Dhananjaya Gangalu Naidu, in the evidence of Mr. Kobus de Meyer Rolofse before the Commission today, which is still continuing and who is scheduled to testify before the Commission in due course and is a protected person as defined in the Witness Protection Act 112 of 1998, in brackets the Act. 1.1, no person may publish any information, including any drawing, picture, illustration, painting, photograph, whether produced through or by means of computer software on a screen or a computer printout as contemplated in the Films and Publications Act 1996, or not, pamphlet, poster, or other printed matter which may disclose A, the place of safety or location where Colonel Dhananjaya Gangalu Naidu is or has been under protection, or where he has been relocated in terms of the Act. B, the circumstances relating to his protection. C, the identity of any other protected person and the place of safety or location where such person is being protected. Or D, Colonel Dhananjaya Gangalu Naidu's relocation or change of identity. In effect, the order is that nobody may publish anything that may disclose the identity of this witness or where he is located or those who are protected persons connected with him. So that order continues to apply. And then, Mr. Peterson, are you able to update me with regard to Mr. Sissoko?
Not personally, Chair. May I hand over to Advocate
Yes.
Wenzel for that purpose?
Yes.
Chairperson, as the other
Yes.
evidence later addresses the other matters, might I and my junior and those representing the minister be excused,
Yes, you are excused. Thank you.
as Durban is still waiting for us.
Thank you. You are excused. Yes, Ms. Wenzel?
Chair, unfortunately, due to, it seems, a misunderstanding, Mr. Soko was informed today that he wouldn't be required to give evidence.
Sorry?
He was informed that he would not be required to give evidence because of the change in schedule. He has apparently taken leave and is intending to attend a church conference for the rest of this week. So because the time is now going to be limited, I would propose that we call Mr. Kuba on Wednesday and allow Mr. Naidoo to testify Thursday and Friday.
This is totally unacceptable. This is totally unacceptable.
Chair, I can try and get hold of him and explain to him that if he can come on Wednesday, we'll do everything we can to make sure he comes on Wednesday.
This is unacceptable.
I apologize.
Well, I don't know. See what you are going to do, but it's really unacceptable. If anybody has been scheduled to appear before the commission, nobody has a right to release that person except myself. I've not released him.
Yes, I understand.
But it might
Chair.
not be his fault.
Yes,
It might be a problem between the investigators and the legal team.
yes.
But the legal team should take responsibility for that because they are the ones who should make sure that witnesses know exactly what the position is.
Yes, I understand that, Chair. Unfortunately, I just wasn't here last week, and so I wasn't informed what was happening until Saturday.
Okay, we are going to adjourn for the day and we'll continue on Wednesday. We'll see which witness is available, but it's an unsatisfactory state of affairs. I think counsel for Mr. Abrahams might wish to say something.
Yes, he does.
Yes, do you wish to say something?
Good afternoon, Chairperson.
Yes, good afternoon.
Just for the record, I need to place myself on record. My name is Mteteleli Philip Mahlatsi from the Bridge Group in Sentin. Chairperson, I deem it prudent, perhaps at this stage, to register a disquiet insofar as notification or communication with the legal representatives. We received a Rule 3.3 notice on the 10th of September, 1:45. In fact, this morning I entered appearance on the supposition that the proceedings would have started at 10. There was no communication. And as you have already remonstrated the legal team, I do not want to take it further, but there really has to be on record the fact that we prepare ourselves to enter and attend these proceedings. And the list that we request from our colleagues is that we need to be informed on time because there are logistical challenges that we might also need to deal with. But I will leave it there. But as matters stand, we have not been able to agree as to when are we then deferring the evidence leading of Mr. Matthew Sissoko.
Yes.
Would want at least to be given ample time or proper timing as to exactly when will that be done.
Yes.
As matters stand, there hasn't been any proper commitment
Yes.
from the legal team.
Yes. No, it's quite clear that things haven't happened the way they should happen. You should have been informed quite some time back that today the commission would only commence at 2 o'clock because the decision that I would not be available in the morning was made some time back, and the legal team would have known about it. Maybe not everybody in the legal team knew, but the information should have been shared with all relevant people, particularly anybody who would be involved in today's matters. And lawyers who were going to be here are supposed to have been informed so that they could come only in the afternoon. So it's really regrettable that that wasn't done.
Yes.
But I'm sure that somebody will offer an apology from the legal team to the extent that maybe it might be difficult to then get Mr. Sissoko to be here on Wednesday when he was told he was not needed here. I mean, Ms. Wenzel will have to find out who exactly told him that and where did they get that information from, because I never said that he should be released. Maybe logistically it might be difficult to get him to be here on Wednesday, and it might be unfair to you in case you have got other commitments on Wednesday to force you to come back on Wednesday when already you were here today and nothing happened. So I think maybe the best way is that I should say the legal team must seek to make such arrangements as can reasonably take care of your own situation as well. Normally when it comes to this determination of dates for hearing, we can't negotiate them with the lawyers for implicated persons, because otherwise practically we would not be able to work. But you were here today expecting that Mr. Sissoko would give evidence, and that has not happened. I think in that situation, attempts must be made to try and accommodate your situation as an exception.
In this, Chairperson. Well, Chairperson, we do not necessarily wish to be an hindrance to the proceedings.
Yes.
So perhaps my suggestion would be that a new notice is issued out, because I'm also mindful of the fact that there might be others that are implicated. So a date of a Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, as my learned colleague has already indicated that Mr. Sissoko is not available. It might as well be that it's going to be a date in the future, not necessarily this week. On my part, I'm prepared to actually even just appraise my client and say, look, we not continue, but we have additional time.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to proceed would be the new, or the issuance of a new notice.
Well, they might not need to issue a new Rule 33 notice as such. They will consider their position, because if every implicated person did receive the notice that the matter would be today and they were not here, it might indicate that they have no intention of attending. And that happens quite often. but from your side, your client wanted you to attend, and you are the one that really needs to know. So, but they will consider their position and do the necessary. So I think there might need to be discussions between the two of you, but if discussions don't bear fruit, they'll need to do what they can do, bearing in mind the fact that today you had come all the way and the matter did not proceed. But we appreciate your cooperation.
Thank you for your wisdom, Chairperson.
Thank you, thank you. We are going to then adjourn until Wednesday morning. We adjourn.
All rise.
Lionel phoned me on Friday because he couldn't get hold of you. And I told him he must try and get hold of you because he wasn't sure as to what to do. So he was really at a loss on Friday because he couldn't get any direction, but that's your thing. So